A comet twice the size of Mount Everest is nearing Earth and will be visible in the coming weeks. The real name, Comet 12P Pons-Brooks, is far less scary than its nickname, the Devil Comet. The comet is returning after 71 years, and the most noteworthy aspect this time is that it may also be visible during the April 8th complete solar eclipse. Observers in the path of totality have a unique opportunity to observe the Devil Comet appear near Jupiter as the moon totally covers the sun. Comet 12P is a cryovolcanic comet, thus it is somewhat unpredictable. The comet received the nickname Devil Comet after a big occurrence in late July 2023. During this time, it had an outburst which released a large amount of gas and dust, resulting in a tremendous rise in brightness by a factor of about 100 nearly overnight. This was the comet's first outburst in 69 years. As of November last year, it had erupted 4 times. The outburst caused the comet's coma to take on a distinctive shape, resembling a horseshoe or having horns with a dark center and clearly light wings or tips. Because of its unique look, the media dubbed it the Devil Comet. As Comet 12P approaches Earth, it may have further outbursts. If it occurs, the comet will put on a spectacular display in the evening skies of this year's spring. It's a Halley-type comet that usually only arrives once or twice in a lifetime. So in this video, I'll tell you about all of the significant dates associated with the Devil Comet, as well as where to look in the sky to spot the celestial visitor. Comet 12P Pons-Brooks is the year's first naked-eye comet. Similarly, your perspective on the comet varies depending on your location. The comet is named for 2 of the 19th century's greatest astronomers, Jean-Louis Pons and William R. Brooks. Pons was the most important visual comet discoverer of all time. He visually discovered 37 comets in 26 years, a record that still stands. One of his discoveries occurred on July 12, 1812. Pons reported it as a shapeless object with no apparent tail, but the comet brightened during the next month, becoming barely visible to the human eye. On August 15th of that year, it peaked at 4th magnitude. This new comet likewise had a split tail measuring about 3 degrees. William R. Brooks, a British-born American comet observer, discovered the comet by mistake on September 2, 1883. Brooks, like Pons, was an accomplished comet discoverer, coming in second only to Pons with 27 visual discoveries. Only after Brooks' initial orbital calculations were finished did it become clear that the comet he discovered was identical to the one spotted by Pons in 1812. As a result, the comet is currently called after both astronomers' surnames, Pons and Brooks. The designation 12P indicates that it was the 12th periodic comet to be identified. This comet's orbital period was found after thorough studies to be approximately 71 years. The comet returned in 1954 as prophesied, but it was not as impressive as in 1884. Its course and Earth's position did not allow for a strong show, therefore it did not become a prominent object in the night sky. And now, some 70 years later, 12P Pons-Brooks has returned and promises a fair performance. This is the comet's 4th visit since its detection in 1812. Comet 12P is traveling towards the Sun at 30 times the speed of the fastest F-16 airplane. Comet behavior is unpredictable, and predicting 12P's activity is famously difficult due to its cryovolcanic nature. A cryovolcanic comet is one that exhibits cryovolcanism, which is comparable to volcanism on Earth, but involves the eruption of volatiles such as water, ammonia, or methane rather than molten rock. These chemicals exist in frozen states due to the low temperatures seen in the outer solar system. When a cryovolcanic comet approaches the Sun, the increased temperature causes the ice volatiles to sublimate or liquefy before vaporizing, resulting in gas and dust eruptions or jets from the comet's nucleus. The difficulty in predicting the behavior of such comets stems from the large number of variables involved. They have diverse compositions with nuclei including ice, rock, and organic molecules. This means that their reaction to solar heating can be extremely unexpected. Second, the history of a comet's passage through the inner solar system can influence its behavior during later trips. Previous near encounters with the Sun can deplete volatile components or create physical changes to the comet's core, reducing its activity. Finally, the jets of material expelled from the surface can generate non-gravitational forces to act on the comet, altering its trajectory in ways that are impossible to anticipate without precise observations and modeling. Comet 12P's behavior has been extremely interesting thus far. On June 10, 2020, the Lowell Discovery Telescope recovered it beyond Saturn's orbit. At the time, it had an apparent magnitude of 23. The apparent magnitude describes how bright an object looks from Earth. The lower the number, the brighter the object. Under absolutely dark skies, the naked human eye may see objects with apparent magnitudes as high as 6. On July 20, 2023, Comet 12P flared up and brightened by a factor of 100 overnight. The outburst caused the comet to have a horseshoe-shaped coma. It was most likely caused by the ejection of approximately 10 billion kilos of dust and ice into space. This is when the comet earned its nickname, Devil Comet. The comet flared up again on October 5, 2023, brightening by a factor of 40 to magnitude 11. Two further outbursts were observed on November 1st and 14th, with the comet brightening to an apparent brightness of 9.3 following the latter. Then on December 14th and January 18, 2024, there were a few outbursts. By mid-February, the comet had brightened to a brightness of 7.5, and by March 7th, it had reached a magnitude of 5.5, which is within the naked eye's range. It was approximately 10 degrees from the Andromeda Galaxy. According to Space.com's Joe Rao, Comet 12P/Pons-Brooks will travel from north of the Great Square of Pegasus to Aries through April 5th. The comet will be visible to the naked eye on the evenings of March 30th and 31st, when it will pass quite near to the second magnitude star Hamal. If the comet doesn't have any further outbursts, it may become difficult to view with the naked eye in April. However, certain viewers in North America will have a one-of-a-kind opportunity to witness the total solar eclipse on April 8th. The Devil Comet will be 25 degrees from the Sun. If it's bright enough, it will appear between Jupiter and the Sun, but closer to Jupiter. The comet's altitude in the twilight sky will continue to decrease. On April 13th, it will coincide with Jupiter, Uranus, and the Pleiades star cluster in the western evening sky. Again, everything depends on the comet's activities. Future outbursts could cause a modest brightness increase, and the comet could be seen even in the twilight skies of the first part of April. The comet will then be lost in the sunset glow, and on April 21st its orbit will bring it to its closest point to the Sun perihelion. It will become a southern hemisphere object in May, passing close to Orion. On May 20th, the Devil Comet will pass near Rigel, the constellation's blue supergiant. The closest approach to Earth will occur on June 2, 2024, when it will be 1.55 AU or 272 million kilometers away. It will most likely decline to 6th or 7th magnitude by the end of May and 8th or 9th magnitude by the end of June. After returning to space, 12P/Pons-Brooks will embark on another 71-year voyage to orbit the Sun. Most of us will only see it this year. However, the youngest among us have an opportunity to observe this celestial visitor again in the summer of 2095. Halley-type comets are a lovely reminder of the vastness of the universe and the fact that we exist for only the blink of an eye in cosmic time. They reaffirm Carl Sagan's statement that life is simply a fleeting glimpse of the wonders of this incredible cosmos. So happy stargazing! Make sure to subscribe to receive timely space updates.